Hello, everyone. I am Sarah Simon. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator coming to you from a fall-like day here in Appleton, Wisconsin. Hello, Kelly and Sandy and Amanda and Mary. It's chilly. Yes, it's chilly, but I love it. I think I got disconnected on my phone here. It's beeping at me. I don't know if somebody tried to call me or what. Let me go ahead and get connected right away. And so that when we get to that, we are connected. Sorry about that. I will get back to saying hello to all of you in just a second. Let's see here. Oh gosh, I have to put in my password. I don't know why I keep getting disconnected, guys. There we go. Allow. Let's see if that works. And let's see if I'm going to have to mute it again. There we go. Still muted, still facing the correct way. Okay. Sorry about that. All of a sudden I could hear my phone beeping and I'm like, oh darn, that means that I got disconnected again. Back to saying hello to all of you. Hello, Mary. Yes, it is a little chilly, chillier than it was last week when it was like 110, right? Thank you for all of you who have shared already. Denise, Becky Weisky, Michelle, and Sarah, and Linda, and Jeanne, and Debbie. Holy cow, Betty, and Mary. Thank you all for joining me tonight, and for anyone else who hops on. Um, I am so excited to share with you some of the things that I was able to do this weekend on my little stamping getaway. Someone asked me, how did you even find out about this or what exactly was it? And so I guess I'll start there with just a little bit of that. I don't want to spend too much time, but I always go to a stamping event in Oshkosh put on by a local demonstrator named Christine Bertram. And I could not go this year. So I couldn't go on the weekend that she was having it because I have my own stamping events. And I couldn't go on the weekday, which was Monday this year. I couldn't go on that day because I have to be at work that day because a coworker is out that day and I have to kind of be there to cover. And so I was looking for something else and I got an email from Rhonda Wade, who's somebody that I just adore. She lives her faith through her business and is just such a faith-filled, kind woman. And so when this came my way, and I was like, it's 2 days, it's in Michigan. It would be worth the drive if it's for 2 days. Actually, it could have been for 2.5 because I could have stayed on Sunday for a class. I just took the class to go. So I reached out to Kathy because we've been coordinating on a lot of things and said, what do you think? She goes, I think it would be fun. I said, well, I'm going to ask my friend Lisa because Lisa always buys Rhonda Wade stuff online. And I know she would be thrilled to be able to go in person. So that was about as much as the only amount of people that I could probably take in my car because I knew we would bring a lot of stuff with us, and we did. And I knew we would come back with a lot of stuff, and we did. So it was so much fun. So I'm going to share some of the stuff with you, but it was so wonderful to spend the weekend with people that share your same passion and who love to do the same thing you're doing, and they're trying to make a business of it and trying to get some ideas off of each other and just be there to support one another was absolutely wonderful. So I can't wait to share some of the things I have. I do have some happy mail to share with you too. Look at this beautiful card. I received this from my upline, Kelly. She was thanking me for, she had a fire and they had a fire in their garage. And I had brought over some pizzas and cheese curds the day that it happened. She would happen to be on a cruise at the time. But I brought it over for her husband and the rest of her family and then donated some money to a collection that we took for them. So she was thanking me for that. Goodness, threw that one on the ground. And then this beautiful card is from Debbie. I see Debbie is on here. Isn't this gorgeous? She had won something we're going to be using. When I saw this, I'm like, I have to use Blackberry Bliss tonight. I love that color for fall. So this was a thank you for, I think, a prize that she won. Yes, she won a couple weeks ago, the Berry Cute set or bundle. And then look at this beautiful card from Patty Hansen. Whoops. Just love those dies, and it's so beautiful on that brick wall. And this too was a thank you for some prizes that she had won as well. So thank you all for the happy mail. I really, really appreciate it. It's so nice to go to your mailbox and not have bills and magazines and everything else. It's nice to have something else. Thank you for all of you who said that you liked and shared. Yes, getting to our prizes. So anytime you comment, your name gets put into a drawing to win prizes. Anytime you share, your name gets put into a drawing to win prizes. You do have to put a comment in that you did share because I can't see all, I can see this many people shared, but I can't see who shared. And then anytime you place an order, and I do have a hostess code, it's always backwards. It's right there we go. That is a newer hostess code. I just started it last week. So you can use that hostess code and it is active right now. But if your order is over $150, and I know how easy it can do that, you can do that. You would not want to put that hostess code in because you will receive the hostess benefits yourself. So last week for commenting, and you're going to be receiving the cards that we made last week. So we used that crate with that cute sunflowers, pumpkins, and corn in it. And we did the Halloween card. That was a what do you call it? An easel card, a twisted easel card. And we did it. This is the pumpkin pie. We did it in Cajun Craze. So the person who wins can comment which color they would like. I think you might have commented last week which color you wanted me to make. I don't know if it ended up being your favorite. But receiving these is Linda Munes. I think that's how you pronounce your name, Munes. So Linda, yes, you said cute shirt. Thank you. My mom got me this shirt. It's really, I don't know how much you can see it, but it's really fun. She got it at a boutique and up in Wapaka as a little treat for me. And I love it. Today is the first day that I got to wear it because it's long sleeves and it's finally cool enough. So Linda, you just let me know if you like the pumpkin pie or the Cajun Craze. All right. Then for sharing and receiving, these are on back order right now. You cannot order them. These are those Abundant Beauty decorative masks. Now, I don't know if you have this for the person who's winning it, and I don't know if you were on here or not. I haven't seen a comment, but these are going to, for sharing last week, Karen Roofing. So Karen, if you see this and if you have these, you let me know because I have other things that I can pull out for a prize for you. But these are on back order and I happen to have an extra pack of those. So I thought I would give that as a prize. And then for hello, Tammy and Linda and Karen and Sandy, I'm not sure if I said hello to you already. Julie, Sandy and Nancy and Diane, thank you all for jumping on as well. And then for placing an order. So anytime you place an order, you get put into a drawing as well. So receiving this So Sincere stamp set. And again, I don't know if you ordered this when you placed your order. I didn't go and look at what you ordered. And also a Wink of Stella, which is also unorderable right now, is Kay Van Epron. So Kay, if you already ordered this stamp set and you see this, let me know. Otherwise, I will be sending this your way. All right, that's it for prizes. Okay, I think what I'm going to do for showing you, I'm going to go through some of the things that are unorderable. And I know it can be such a pain that this stuff is unorderable and it's stuff that you really wanted. That's why I kept telling you, if you really want something, you might want to put it in the first day because like the All About Autumn paper was already on back order before it went live because of demonstrators purchasing it. We can only order a certain amount, but and it was coming in. It came in yesterday and it sold out already. So here's what's unorderable in the estimated day for coming back in. So the loose holly sequins, 9/18, so September 18th. The star trinkets, September 25th. The faceted gem trios, those are the ones that are like blue, gray, and white, and they go with the, I think it's the berry acute suite. Those are coming back in September 25th. The speckled dots, which are the autumn ones that look like this, those are coming back in the 25th of September. The copper and natural ribbon, which I'm using today, comes in on the 23rd of October. The glow in the dark ghost and bats, September 25th. Then for paper, the Winter Meadow DSP is coming back September 25th, about that. All About Autumn is now out until about October 23rd. The oxidized copper, which we're using today as well, October 2nd. Glow in the dark paper, 10/2, so October 2nd. Stars at Night, the hybrid embossing folder with the dies, also October 2nd. The Bag of Bones dies, the 18th of September. And those Abundant Beauty decorative masks, September 18th. So those are the things from the new holiday catalog. There are a couple of other things, but those are the things in the holiday catalog that are currently on back order. But as you can see, nothing is like not orderable forever. It's coming back. We just have to wait. And then if you know that date, hopefully you can write down the things that you wanted. You could always email me and I can check on that as well. So now I'm going to flip. I'm going to share some of the things that I got at the event that I was at. So fun. So sitting at my place when I got there was this cute a name tag or name thing. And we saw these at Hobby Lobby when we were shopping and looking for things that we wanted to buy from things that we saw in displays at Hobby Lobby and Michael's on Saturday night. But this was a cute little name way to display our name. And then this is taking a little welcome friends, and you can see those leaf dies that they cut along with some of that oxidized copper. So cute. We had this little treat box, which it got a little damaged when I was bringing it home. But this little box pulls out, and there's one of those Ferrero Rocher chocolates in there. And then look at the front is just decorated with some DSP. These bead things are so like in trend right now. So this was sitting at our place day 2. Each of us had our own little initial there. We also had a little bowl filled with some treats that we could munch on during the day or the days. All of our packets for our make and takes came in these bags. Now, we did not get a chance to make all of them, and I have not had a chance. So we were given a PDF with these are the pictures of all the cards and then all of the measurements and all of the instructions so that we could make these on our own. So we had like about 2 hours to eat lunch and to make each day. And look at these cute cards that we made with the little berry cute. There's one. Here's another one that just kind of pops in there. Here's another little cute one. And the Merry Christmas with the tree. And this little warm wishes. Not all of them had centers, so I'll go back in and I'll add some of those. A lot of times with make and takes, you do have a center, and then sometimes this one had a big, nice inside. Okay, so that's one that I made. And I'm putting these with it because if I decide to use any of these for any classes, I will have all of the dimensions. All right, the other one that I made was block C, and I'll bring that up here. Isn't this cute? Oh, I love this. So this is what it looks like when it's standing up. It's 4 boxes put together, tied together with a ribbon with a little bit of a tag on the top. Each one of these open up so that you could put like a little pair of earrings in there. You could put a little chocolate in one of them. You could put any little tiny things that you wanted to would fit inside of there. Maybe like a lip gloss or something like that. That is what we made for that. I know, Debbie, I wish I could have brought everybody along with me because it was a lot of fun. I always feel bad because I know people that love stamping see that and they're like, oh, I wish I could be there and I wish I could have brought all of you with me. So I'm trying to share some of it, and you'll see some of this stuff. I promise you will. This one I did not get together yet. Whoops, I better be careful. I'm going to be losing stuff here. I still have to make this one. So this is the All About Autumn. So these are the cards that we'll be making. And so I have all the directions and everything's cut here. I just have to cut the designer paper because we get the designer paper in a half a pack. And then they die cut all the other little things for us. And then this is a class that used like one of each of those stamp sets. So yeah, wonderful projects, I know. So here are the projects for this one. So we've got the little stocking that was with the little boxes and the leaves and the very cute. I did make the little treat holder. This has a little box that you could put stuff in, and then it's decorated. These are those big deckled circles. I know somebody said the other day, I don't know what I would do with a circle that big. Well, here we just scored it. We did the two largest ones, one with DSP and one in white, scored it, and then made a little box to go between it that you could fill with stuff. So that was that. And then when I make one of my projects tonight, I purchased an extra kit, um, and I'm going to show you some of that. I was planning to use that All About Autumn paper tonight because I thought, oh, it's coming back in on Monday. So that I know says something that people can get. And then, oh, lo and behold, it went out again. And so I'm using some of that paper so I can get you excited, hopefully, and you'll want to put it on your wish list for when it comes back in. I do want to share with you, I have some new paper that was available beginning on what day did it go live last week? Wednesday last week. And I don't know if I mentioned it, but I did get some of it, so I'll show you some of it. So there's silver and gold glimmer paper that is adhesive backed. I did get some of the Shining Christmas. I did get some of I did not get the Traditions of St. Nick, but I did see that paper and it's very traditional. The Delightful Floral I do have, and I did not get any of the tartan foil, but holy cow, I saw it this weekend and it's definitely on my wish list. So here is that glimmer paper. And what I love about our glimmer paper is that when you sometimes with glimmer paper, you go out to cut it and it's like all over the place. Our glimmer paper doesn't, the glimmer does not come off, it stays. So this is all adhesive backed. So after you cut out anything like some of those nice dies or words or anything like that, you can easily pull off, yeah, easily, right here. You can pull off the backing. Whoops, I'm not in the camera. There we go. You can pull off the backing and it's adhesive. So you don't even have to use an adhesive sheet. That's all done for you already. And you do get a piece of the gold and the silver. I believe this was $7 for the two pieces. It is a little bit pricey, but holy cow. We're going to be using this paper, so I'm going to go ahead and skip over to the other Christmas one. I haven't even opened this one up of my own. I saw it last weekend. This is called the Shining Christmas. So I don't know if you can see all of the glimmer. Yeah, I think you can see all of the glimmer in that. So one side it's really, really sparkly and has some glimmer in it. So here the red is all glimmery. Same thing here. And then, oh, look at that holly. I love that holly. And then the candy canes. And then if we flip it over, the back. Now, some of this is stuff that if you don't happen to use it by Christmas, like that doesn't have to be Christmas. It's just an X. This could be Valentine's Day. This could very well be Valentine's Day. So if you don't use that, you've got that. Now, this one would have to be used for Christmas. It's ornaments. And this one is lights. But nothing in there really says Christmas to me. And nothing there really says Christmas to me. So if you don't use all of the Christmas paper, you definitely have the other side where you could use it for other things. And then our first card that we're going to be doing today is going to be using this Delightful Floral. Whoops, I just hit my camera. Sorry about that. Let me stop it so you don't go crazy, get sick. This coordinates with a stamp set that is in a bundle that is in the holiday catalog. It's called Translucent Florals. As demonstrators, we could get this a couple of months ago if we participated in an event. I signed up for the event and then couldn't make the event, so I never ordered this until when the catalog came out now because I kind of forgot about it and then it wasn't available after the event. So I just recently got this one and this came out. So some of you might remember we used to have two celebration time periods, and they went back to just having one. I believe that this was supposed to be part of like a celebration. And so it went with one of the stamp sets. So it's not in any of the catalogs. It's an online exclusive. You can see that I cut some of this up already. Look at how you could cut this out and just put this little bouquet of florals on something. We're going to be doing that with one of the other colors. I did cut some of this up and made a couple of cards. And I was kind of messing around with the card that I'm making today. Look at those. And the smaller prints of the flowers. That's the other sheet that I was cutting up. These are smaller prints of the leaves. And then little smaller prints of the flowers again. And then the backs of all of these are just watercolor paper. So you could stamp on this. You could use it as layers. You can emboss any of this and match it up with some of the fronts of the paper. So cool paper that we're going to be using tonight. All right, let me get my first project up here so we can get stamping. I'm going to get my keyboard out of the way and I have a place. I kind of have a mess here already, and I don't know why, because I brought all this other stuff over here and I don't want any of it to get damaged. I don't want to lose any of it. Let me put some of this over here. There we go. All right, we're going to use the Painted Textures 3D embossing folder. I haven't used that in a while. I'm going to partner it with these translucent florals, and I can show you these dies. I don't have them on a magnet yet because I just recently got them and I just pulled them out last night to make something. Okay, so there are some florals that you can make. These look really nice because of the type of flowers that we have on here. They look very, very nice with vellum, punching those out on vellum. These cut out some of the stamped images. Very fun dies. Okay, so we are going to be using, and I'm also going to be using these Nested Essentials, becoming some of my favorite. If any of you saw the video that I made when I was in Lansing, the little snowman that was made out of paper, the die that they used to make that was the one that was in here. So the bottom was made with this really big one, and they just glued a whole bunch of those around a circle, and then they topped them up with a circle on top. And then the next layer was made with this size, and then the top layer, the head, was made with this size. So that's how they ended up making that. I haven't tried it yet, but holy cow, talented ladies doing those displays. I can't wait. I'm going to make that nativity shadow box, I think, for a couple of gifts because I just loved it so much. All right, so this is Blackberry Bliss. Like I said, Debbie made me think, oh, I want Blackberry Bliss. And when I saw that was in this paper, I think this is such a beautiful, rich fall color. This is 8.5 by 5.5, and I scored it at 4.25. This is a 4 by 5.25 of basic white. I think that Blackberry Bliss looks really nice with our fresh freesia. Look at that together. Ooh, love that. This is 4 by 5.25, and I did run it through the Painted Texture 3D embossing folder, which you can kind of see that there. And then I used this bigger pattern of the translucent flowers. I already forgot, Floral Beauty or something like that. 2 by 5.25. I have a 1/2 inch by 5.25. So I wanted to, when I put this on here, I wanted to put like a ribbon to kind of hide my seam a little bit. And there wasn't really a Blackberry Bliss or any kind of ribbon that I felt like I really wanted to use with this. So I decided instead to take a 1/2 inch strip and use that as kind of covering up my seam to make my ribbon, so to speak, that goes across there. I have this that we're going to fussy cut out. And I have the second to the largest of the nested shapes. All right. I think we'll go ahead and get started with our stamping. So we have to stamp on here. We have to stamp on here. And then we're going to cut this out and use that as well. I have a wedding that is coming up for my nephew. And I made a wedding card in my card buffet last month that I really liked and was thinking about giving them that. And then when I was playing around with this stamp set, and it has in it um, wishing you all the happiness in the world and then congratulations. I'm like, oh, I think I could make something with this for their wedding. So now I have to decide between the two cards because I have two wedding cards to pick from. And I'm not quite sure which one I want to give them. So I have a bunch of stuff on my blocks here. We're going to stamp something for the inside, and then we're going to just stamp a greeting on the outside and use this floral image. Pretty easy card. Um, it's not a SIP card because stamp ink and paper, because I did emboss and I did cut out that label. But you could do this plain without the embossing. You could use a punch or you could just cut a layer and round the corners and just not have the stitching if you don't have a die cutting machine. All right, I'm going to use Pretty Peacock because that is actually the color that's in here for my stem of the flower that I'm going to stamp on the inside as well as the leaves. And I'm going to tell you that with this stamp set, because of the detail that is in those flowers, you really don't have to over ink your stamps. Shoot. I think that'll be okay because I think it'll be covered with this flower that we're going to stamp. So when I put these leaves in, I'm not going to like tap. Let me put this in the camera here. I'm not going to tap like crazy. I'm basically just going to lightly ink it up. I'm going to turn it over, make sure that I've got ink all the way around. And if I do, I'm just going to go ahead then and press that down. If you do too much, see how I'm inking this a whole lot? Press it down. See all of those little dots in the center of it? That's not how it's meant to look. Okay, it's meant to look like that. And you can achieve that if you just press tap very lightly. You do have to turn it over, make sure, do I have enough ink on it? Not yet. Okay, now I do, and I'm going to put that one. I think I'm going to put that over here. Okay, so I have, whoops. I think I'm back. Let's see, I'm back. Woo. All right, and then the floral image on the inside is going to be that fresh freesia. Whoops, I stamped too hard. I've got dots. I'm going to stamp off a little bit. Tap, 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 lightly. And then stamp. Okay, look at how beautiful that flower is. I just love that. Okay, and then my greeting, I'm going to keep, let's see. I can close these up. I don't need them for anything else. And the greeting on the inside, normally I put my greeting in the center, and I thought I wanted to change it up a little bit. So instead of having it up here, I'm going to stamp it down in the bottom. So I can do my writing to them up on the top part. So that's going to be the inside of our card. And then this greeting, wishing you, wishing you all the happiness in the world. I am going to stamp that up towards the top. Okay, that's in Blackberry Bliss. I know it looks like it's black, but it really is Blackberry Bliss. All right, that's all we have for stamping. So let me put all of this away. And let's go ahead and put this together. So I'm going to take a pair of snips and I'm going to fussy cut out this floral image. Now I did fussy cut out that bigger one and it was too big for this card. So I decided I was going to use this one. I guess the reason that I wanted to fussy cut this instead of using the stamps and the dies is because I wanted to show you that if you really like the look of this type of flower, you really wouldn't have to purchase the stamp set. You could just use the paper and do a little fussy cutting around some of these images, and you could make some really beautiful cards and just pull some greetings if you needed to out of a different stamp set that you have. So if you're like, I really don't need another floral stamp set, because that's me. I have a million floral stamp sets, so I like to pick some different things besides flowers, but I'm always drawn to them for some reason. And but if you feel like I like that paper, but I don't really want to get the stamp set, you really could make this card and just not put this in here and just put a greeting in and put a strip of the paper down below, and or cut out another one of these flowers or put that bigger flower arrangement that I had cut down at the bottom. So you really could get by with this card with not having to do any, um, use that stamp set. Of course, I wanted to use the stamp set so you could see it in case you felt like you needed to have it. But if you feel sometimes like me, like I don't need another floral stamp set, just know that you could get this paper and get by with using the images on it. Okay. Am I missing any comments at all? Hello, Mary. Yeah, cute ideas. Some of you said you like the projects, love those boxes. Yeah, I loved the boxes, the ones cut all cling together. All right, so for this, I'm going to place some liquid glue just on one end. And you could, if you wanted to, use tear and tape if you are afraid your liquid glue is going to get too thick. I'm going to put it this way here, actually. All right, and then I'm just going to set this on top of there and leave just a little bit of an edge. My goal was to use my graph paper so I could make sure it was even all the way, but I ended up picking it up and doing it instead because I can see better if I pick it up. All right, so I'm just adding a little bit of an edge to this paper because I didn't have any ribbon that I could attach to it. And then this I'm going to glue right into that corner like that, just to add the texture along with the beautiful paper. And so this is going to go in the corner. There we go. And I always like to turn it over and see if there's anything I have to trim. This looks like I don't have anything hanging off the end there, so this can just be attached to the front of our card. And that is going to go there. And then I'm going to attach this with some glue along the bottom of my, so I just need glue here. And you can kind of decide how far over you want to have it. I'm just kind of eyeing this up. That looks pretty good there. And then I'm going to put dimensionals on the back of that to pop that up. And get these off of here, throw them in my little cup I have up here so I don't have dimensional backs all over my floor, because I swept it the other day, but it still looks like it needs to be swept again. All right, I'm just going to set this up here. Make sure the sides are straight with the sides. And of course, I'm going to add some Wink of Stella to that flower because I can. I think it'll make it look when I added it to the card that I made, I thought it made it look more like a translucent, like it's supposed to look because of the glimmer, the shine that was in it. And I don't think you can really see that glimmer. Maybe you can a little bit, depending on where we are, but that is a little bit of glimmer for on there. And then, of course, we have to add some bling. So these are the Tinsel Gems, the 3-pack. And I am going to use, there's fresh freesia on there. So I thought it would be nice to take those fresh freesia ones. We didn't really have anything that had Blackberry Bliss, but I could have taken probably my Blackberry Bliss Stampin' Blend marker, and I could have um, colored these if I wanted to. But I'm just going to set a couple of these around on the card just to add a little bit of bling to that. Isn't that paper beautiful? So now really, if you think this card, I see a couple of you saying very pretty, what a gorgeous card. Hello, Gwen from Hawaii. Hawaii is on my bucket list. I really want to get there someday, but probably when I retire, maybe. So like I was saying, if this is something you're like, that is absolutely gorgeous, but you don't know that you want to invest in another stamp set, most of this could have been done. You could take a different greeting there, cut out some of the flowers and put them on the inside and put a different greeting there. If you think these flowers are just absolutely gorgeous and you have to have that stamp set because you just love how that looks, go for it. Go. I just think this floral set is beautiful, and that paper that they came out just highlights it. The colors that are in it, I just love. So, yeah, thank you, Diane. Super easy card. I'm going to show you my inspiration from this card. Is actually a Kathy Miller card. Kathy and I, like I said, are kind of trying to work smarter and not harder this year. And so we are sharing ideas for our card buffets. And so this card was in her card buffet last month. And so this month it's in mine. We're kind of switching months and kind of helping each other out and sharing ideas. And this was the card. So this is in my card buffet this month, the masculine card. It's got like the fish and stuff hanging from it. So you can kind of see where I got my inspiration from a little bit with having the little piece of designer series paper, having the embossed, having a focal image, and having something kind of along with that focal image. So this is the card that I kind of cased to make mine. You might look at this and say, how did she say that that's what she cased it from? But if you look really closely, you can see the similarities to it. Okay, I did have, I thought, a piece of, I know I cut it. I don't see where it is here, but I know that I cut another piece of the designer paper. I wonder if I did what I did last time and put it back. Yep, here it is. I knew I cut it. It's right here. This can go on the flap of our envelope so it'll match that beautiful card that we just made. So I'm going to go ahead and just add a little bit of glue here. I want to make sure that when the flap is closed that it's going in the correct direction. I really should have stood up to see where I was here, where the fold was. There we go. And then we will flip it over and cut around the flap of the envelope to get ourselves a matching envelope to go with our card. Okay, so there is our card number 1 featuring some of the online exclusive that paper that's available. And I don't even know if it's in the online exclusive or it's called something release, special release. If that's what it's called, and that's where you can get your hands on this paper. So that is our card number 1. Thank you for all of the hearts and telling me that you like the card. You could also use the other embossed half for your, you could, absolutely you could. I actually ended up using the whole, I embossed this whole piece and put that over the top, but you could also cut this and do, put that part on your envelope, or you could just put this in and you could emboss that. There's a lot of different things you could do for your envelope. Thanks, Tammy. Absolutely true. Okay, card number two is based off of this card kit that I purchased at this was an extra. This was the Sunday class. I didn't stay for it, so they sent it home. So after 6 hours in a car, I sat down and I made it. So we ended up getting one piece of paper from the All About Autumn, one of each of the pieces of paper. And then these were the cards that we were going to make. So I had to take all of the directions, and I did put these together on Sunday after I got home because I needed some inspiration for, whoops, this, I kind of wanted to show you what I had left of what they gave me. They also gave us a pack of this combo ribbon, the copper ribbon. This is a little bit difficult. I'm going to tell you to tie some really nice bows. You almost have to cut a little bit more ribbon than you need to because in order to make the nice bows, it just has to be a little bit longer. And I'm going to show you some different tricks of things that you can do with this thicker ribbon. This is nice for wrapping packages with. Sometimes when you put it on a card, it's like, ooh, that's a little bit thick for a card. But I can show you in some of these cards what we did with the ribbon. So these are the cards that we made. We combined it with the So Sincere. So I had to have this stamp set, which I already had. So I was able to easily put these cards together. We also, as part of the weekend retreat, got a pack of those speckled dots. So you'll see those. So here we put the ribbon through a tag and then we tied it with a bow with the copper ribbon. So your kindness is so appreciated. None of these have anything really on the inside. Here we put this on Blackberry Bliss stamps. So each of these greetings are just different, like anytime occasion type cards. Yeah, Tammy, this So Sincere is definitely who won the K just won that for placing an order. This has been a pretty hot commodity too. Um, Oh, you're welcome, Cheryl. Yeah, I was having such a hard time and I was pressing too much ink on those floral images and I was not happy with the image. And I'm like, Sarah, don't press so hard. Just tap, tap, tap. Look to see if you have the ink on it and then tap, tap, tap if you need to add more. Okay, so this is beautiful card with some of the leaves from the that All About Autumn. This is just two punches. This is actually it's three punches. And then this is the deckled circles, which you get like 14 or 16 of those in there. And then just an image and then a bunch of little dots and some ribbon. I wouldn't think of putting copper with this Moody Mauve, but that's the color that's in these papers is the Moody Mauve. This is Pretty Peacock and then that copper. All right, here what we did with the ribbon is I ended up on each of the ends. I'm going to show you with the ribbon that I have here is you're just going to take and you're going to fray it. You're just going to pull some of those pieces out so that you can fray it at the end to make it look a little more rustic. And here we have one of those oxidized hearts. You're in my heart and prayers. Look at that beautiful fall scene. And then this one, I didn't know what to do with those books, but you can't even hardly tell that they're books. They just look like really rich looking designer paper behind it with the colors. And then that's that kind of like a little Afghan type. And then a little bow with, there's some vellum back there to kind of make that, mute that paper a little bit. This is my favorite of this bundle, this stack. I love this. Hope you're feeling better soon. I have a colleague who just had, she just found out that she had uterine cancer and had to have a hysterectomy yesterday. And so I'm going to be sending this card off to her because I thought it was so pretty. And I'm going to be putting I think this is why I had an extra piece of white left. I think there was supposed to be a piece of white that went in there to be able to read the message. So here I just taped this ribbon on either end and then tied a knot with a piece of that copper ribbon on the inside of it, and then just decorated it out with some of the dots. And then knowing you brings joy to my heart. And this you get to see both sides of the paper. So there's just a 1 inch strip there. And then this is just cut at 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And then I just put glue on the inside part. I wrapped the ribbon first so that I could hide the ribbon, put some glue down, and just attach that right to the front so you can actually see both sides of the paper. So that was a class that I ended up paying extra for. And like I said, it was supposed to be on Sunday from 9 until 12. And we decided that we wanted to get through Chicago before the Chicago Bears and Packer traffic. And so we ended up leaving at, gosh, I think we left about 6:30, 6:45 their time, which would have been 5:30, 5:45 our time. So we were home by noon, which was really nice. Okay, I decided I wanted to show you a fun fold that I learned there, and I wanted to use this paper. So the fun fold that they did there with this, they used the Trucking Along paper, and they also used the Very Cute and the Bag of Bones to make cards with this fold. And I thought, well, I kind of looked at this designer paper as kind of like that one horse open sleigh, that not the Trucking Along, the one horse open sleigh designer paper where it's kind of these big images. And the one that they used for Bag of Bones was the page that has like almost a scrapbook page that you could use. And it's like sometimes you don't know what can I do with those. And so this is a way that you could use that. And I'm going to cut this for you so you can see how it works. You do need, I'm going to use both of these sheets of DSP that are 6x6. I also used a full sheet of copper clay, and I used a full sheet of early espresso, and then just a little piece of either very vanilla or whisper or basic white. Or if your DSP that you choose is light enough and you could write on it, you could also not have to have this layer if you wanted to. Okay, so I'm going to cut these together. I'm going to show you what we have. So we basically have two card bases. Okay, so these are each 8.5 by 5.5. This one I scored at 4 1/4, so it's just a regular card. This one I scored at 2 1/8 and 4 1/4, so it's scored twice. I have 3 pieces of the early espresso, and these measure 4 by 5 1/4. I don't know that I would do this card for a swap unless I had like 8 of them to make. I wouldn't make like some of the swaps that I'm in where we have to make 21 or 30. There's no way that I would make this card for that because it uses way too much DSP. But for kind of a wow card to give to somebody, this one's really that. It's a kind of a wow card. So these are 4 by 5 1/4, and there's 3 of them. And then I have 2 pieces. So with that 4 by 5 1/4 that was left, these 2 pieces are 1 7/8 by 5 1/4. And then this is 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. And this is going to be for our inside. All right, I'm going to bring the paper trimmer in so that you can see how I am cutting these. So you have 2 pieces. So with each of them, you're going to have one piece that's 1 3/4 by 5 1/8. And you're going to have one piece that's 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. So what I did was I cut it's going the long way. So I cut the 5 1/8 first. Let me get the scoring tool out of there. Okay, so I cut my 5 1/8 first. Then I cut 1 3/4 from one of the sides, and you can decide which side you want to cut it from. I think I'm going to actually cut it from this side. 1 3/4. I didn't make it with this pattern. I made it with a different pattern. And then what's left is going to be 3 7/8. just do this. Oh, I just did that wrong. I just did 3 1/4. Okay, that's okay. What we're gonna do is we'll just make this 1 5/8. We're just gonna cut 1/8 of an inch off of here because I just did that wrong. So instead of having 1/8 of an inch or 1/16 of an inch all the way around, we're gonna have 1/8 of an inch. So I'm gonna cut both of them. So mine, I'll show you the one that would be with these dimensions after, because I just cut that wrong. Okay, I'm gonna do the same. So then it would be 5 inches and not 5 1/8 too. So let's see here. I gotta cut this to 5 inches. There we go. It's not the worst thing in the world. I'm just adapting. Yeah, Becky, I love these fall colors. They're so pretty. Okay, so we're going to cut this to 5 instead of 5 1/8. And we're going to be 1 5/8 right there. And 3 3/4 instead of 3 7/8. There we go. Okay, so these two pieces go together. These two would be the ones that were together. This was actually over on this side, but it doesn't really matter because of where I'm putting that one. All right, I'm going to put my trimmer away. What I need to do is I need to layer all of these onto this. So I'm going to quickly. Now, Rhonda did this in her demonstration. So she wanted each of her people that were demonstrating and did their displays, she wanted them to quickly show us something as well. And so what she showed us was this quick fun fold that for all of them, she said, I would use this for when you have the paper like this where you're not quite sure, like, how do I use this as a background? Well, I got to show you in some of the cards that she designed for that class that I took. But here's another way that you could just use that to make kind of a wow card. So I'm just attaching these to each of these panels. So now if I had cut them the way that I had originally told you, instead of having 1/8 of an inch border all the way around, I would have a 1/16 inch. It would just be a smaller border. But I messed up. That's okay. It happens to everybody, right? Okay, and I am going to actually leave my inside blank because I'm not quite sure what occasion I would use this for. I'm going to use the stamp that says, Autumn teaches us that change can be beautiful. So somebody who's going through a change, a different job, a new house, having to move away, retiring, whatever it might be, I'm going to use this for my card for the outside, and the outside I'm going to leave blank so that I can add whatever it is that that change is on the inside. I'm going to take just a piece of this scrap that's left over, and it's a little bit wider than what my sample was, but that's okay. I'm just going to put this down here and just trim that little bit off the edge. Okay, and then that is going to be layered. On the other one. I like a little bigger border. Thanks, Karen. Yeah, sometimes I do. Oh, you know what? This one's not going to be though. Shoot, I have glue on. I don't like doing this because I'm going to get my trimmer with glue, but this now has to be 5 by 3 3/4. So I got to trim. Ah, take this out. That. Oh. And let's see, where do I have it? This is the furthest, so 3 3/4. There we go. I'm going to have to clean that with some alcohol afterwards to make sure that I get all of that ink off, because otherwise it starts sticking to everything that I go to cut. All right, where did I put my brown layer? There it is. It was sticking to the bottom because it had a little glue on it. All right, so now all of the little borders are the same. Okay, so what am I going to do here? This right here, I'm going to actually fold this back so that it kind of looks like a Z fold. So I want you to know that I remember I said at the beginning that I couldn't go to my friend Christine's class that she was having. So these two go together. I'm going to go ahead and put this one on the front. Um, I am taking her class, her little event. I'm taking that to go. So I will share all of the fun stuff that she shares with us when I get all of that and get a chance to make it all because I won't be able to be there for the actual event, which I'm really bummed about because I love the camaraderie in stamping so much. Okay, so this is going to go in here like that. And then this one is going to go here. We're going to have like a little panoramic view of fall. So that is going to go right there. Okay, so that opens like that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach, I'm going to use my bone folder to make sure that this is creased really well as well. I'm going to attach these two cards together. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and use some liquid glue all the way around the edges. And I'm going to stand up for this to make sure that I can line this up. I had not seen this fold before, and I was like, that is really unique. And it does really work for some of these papers that you're like, okay, if I don't scrapbook, what am I supposed to do with that? So this pulls like this, then it's going to flip, and we're going to put that there and that there. So it's going to be kind of like a folding book that looks like it's going to keep going on with all of these autumn scenes. Now, if you wanted to, like these scenes are so beautiful that I don't have to stamp anything on them. I can just leave them blank. The one that she did with the bag of bones, I think that's what it's called. Bag of bones? I don't remember. All of a sudden it's like, I don't remember what the name of it is. But it looked like the graveyard, and she placed like little pumpkins here and there along the way. The one that had the one horse open sleigh, she put like a tree or something in one of the images. You could do that if you had something. I know that for those of you that know Kelly, my upline, she ended up using, I think, one of these papers the other night, and she took that stamp set that has the big bear, and she put like a big bear here for someone who goes hunting. Okay, so you could do whatever you wanted to, but you can kind of see the progression here of this beautiful site, and then you turn it over and it just keeps going on. Okay, now we have to put a greeting and decorate up the outside a little bit. So these are, and I cut two of these in case I didn't stamp very well the first time. This one is cut out of our copper clay. This is very vanilla. And then in the autumn stamp set, they have, or the dies, I'm sorry, they have some of these leaves that I cut out of that oxidized copper paper. Look at that. And actually, you know what? This one goes on the inside. So I'm going to just go ahead and throw a little bit of glue on here. I wanted to bring the leaves through. Now you could, if you wanted to, you could even put some leaves down here. I'm just going to kind of set this up in the corner just to bring in the leaves a little bit to the inside. Okay. And then again, the greeting that I chose is the one that says, autumn teaches us that change can be beautiful. I just loved that saying. I'm going to ink that up good and get this straight. My stamp's really not on here very straight, but I think I did a pretty good job. Okay, so autumn teaches us that change can be beautiful. All right, and I'm going to adhere that. I didn't need this other one because I did a pretty good job of stamping it on the first one. I'm going to go ahead and put just a little bit of glue on the back here. And I want that to have like a little border showing around the outside, just like that. And then I thought it would be nice to take some of these leaves and just I'm just going to kind of tuck them behind that on one side. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I have to look at my sample to see how I ended up doing this again because I don't remember. I did it on Sunday when I got home. Okay, that's what I did. So I am going to, I think I'm going to put this down on dimensionals first. So I'm going to put a dimensional where my fold is, right about there. Okay, and then I'm going to keep these in a little bit because I got to tuck those underneath. So I'm going to bring these kind of in here. And we'll take this off. And I'm going to throw those all in my cups. They don't end up on my floor. Make sure I've got it straight. And then I am going to kind of loosen this up a little bit, bend it up a little. I'm going to throw a little bit of glue on the corner here, or in the end. Just kind of tuck that in there a little bit. Give that a good press so that it holds in place. And then these two little guys, I'm going to put down in the corner. And what's nice about this die set is that you do get two of each of these leaves. So you can cut a whole bunch of them at one time instead of having to, like I cut all of these leaves in one pass through my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. I didn't have to do multiple passes through because I had this paper out and I just basically put all of the dies in there. All right, then what we're going to do is we're going to use this ribbon. What I did is I'm going to show you on this other side. I just came with my scissors and I cut that little seam, I guess, binding that's on the end. I cut that off. I'm going to not cut all the way down on that one because I have it done on the other side. And then what I did is I just took these strings that are in here and I pulled some of them out. So I think I did like about 4. They're a little bit finer than the linen thread. And so I wanted to use those. There we go. So I've got 2 of them there. I've got 2 of them here. So I've got a total of 4 of those strings. I'm going to bring in my bow maker. I found it easier to make it. Usually with the linen thread I can make it, but these were just kind of so fine and so silky that they just kind of slipped out of my hands when I was trying to make them without the bow maker. Again, I got my bow maker online. It's just called the 10-second bow maker. And if you Google that, you would be able to find it. It's a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator that actually sells them. I can't think of her name. But I know some other people, their husbands have just taken a piece of wood and drilled some holes for them and got some nails and they went ahead and put those in there. Okay, so I've got my bow here. Got one piece that's not, there we go. Okay, see how kind of wispy that is instead of, it's kind of hard to see. I should put it on some white. It's just a little more wispy than your normal linen thread. And I'm actually going to take a glue dot And I'm going to take my take your pick tool on the pokey end, and I'm just going to kind of roll it all up into a ball. And I'm going to put it kind of in the corner of that label. And then where my knot is, I'm just going to press that right into that piece. Okay, so autumn teaches us that change can be beautiful. So we've got those beautiful leaves. We open it up and say, oh my goodness, look at how gorgeous that is. And the beauty doesn't end, it continues on to the inside. Now, again, if you wanted to put a happy retirement or you wanted to do anything like that, you could do that. It could be a fall birthday. Yes, Linda, it could be a Thanksgiving. Um, yeah, there's so many things that you could use this card for. You wouldn't even have to use this greeting that's in here. If you got the paper, you could go ahead and use any sort of label and put any kind of greeting in there. And the paper really does all the work. That paper is just so gorgeous. So there is this was the one that I did on Sunday. I used a different paper. So I used a different leaf paper. This one is the same. And then that's what it is on the inside of my thing. It's just a little bit skinnier on the inside. So my leaves on the inside were a little bit different. So I just picked a different pattern for this one. So two card bases kind of just glued together to make a fun fold. All right, what are we gonna do to, I don't really have a lot of stamps here. So let's see, let's go ahead. Let me get some of that paper. See what I have left here. This is what I have left from that class that I did. Ooh, these pumpkins. I didn't have pumpkins in any of my cards. Let's see here. I have that. I have that left. I have other books left. I might have to just go grab another piece here. What's this? Books. All right, let me grab a piece from over here. I thought I cut something, but I maybe put it away. Let's see what we've got. We've got a lot of this paper. Maybe even that, just the leaves on the outside. It's a different pattern, but I think it would go with that. So otherwise, which part of the paper am I going to take? So let's go ahead and do these leaves. So we'll just go ahead, put that right up there and cut around it. And we're just bringing our fall theme into our envelope. Put these there. Sorry if my head was in there. I just realized I was leaning in quite a bit to try to see that I was even. And I can use the other half of this paper, 3/4 of it, whatever's left, for another project. Okay, so there I've got some fall leaves. There's my card that I just made. Okay, that fun fold. And then our first card that we made, where did I put it? Where did I put it? There it is. It got buried underneath all that stuff, my trimmer and everything else that was there. So rich colors for fall, but still some floral images, some leaves, just kind of some fun things. Now you could also, I did bring in, there are some sequins here. We've got these copper dots. We've got some brown little sequins that you could put in there. We've got some gold. There's also, I have a whole bunch of things that I threw in here that could be possibilities. We also have those autumn, or these speckled dots that we could put in here. So these are the color of our thing. So maybe we'll use those. And let me see where I put my take your pick tool. I don't see it handy. Probably fell on my floor somewhere. I'm going to have to clean up my floor big time when I'm done because I dropped so many things. So maybe we could just put a dot right there. Maybe we wouldn't have to do anything more. It kind of balances out everything else that's on that side. Just putting one little dot there. And there is our card. Really nice to be able to put that out and display it on a desk or something like that with all of the colors. So that is what I have for you tonight. Let me go ahead and come back to you. There that is. I'm back. All right, I have a mess here. Just a reminder for those of you that like to know when I'm coming live again. This is my schedule for September. I forgot to post it on my Facebook page, but I will. So next week I'll be live with you on Monday. And the reason I'm switching to Monday is because then it'll be a longer time period before I get back to my normal Saturdays. I will be eventually transitioning back to Saturdays at 8:30 a.m. For those of you that prefer the Saturday morning rather than the Tuesday evening. I know once it gets a little bit colder, it's nice to be able to just sleep in a little bit on Saturday and grab that cup of coffee and sit and watch rather than having to do it at night. So I thank you so much for joining me. Again, I will be live next Monday night with a couple of things for you. I know my friend Lisa is doing a display for Christine for her event that she has, and she had the Berry Cute. And let me tell you, we had so much fun. She was working on projects. We did a run to Hobby Lobby and Michael's to find some things for her stuff. Her display is going to be really cute, and she promised that she would be a guest stamper on one of my YouTube lives, so that she could show you some of the stuff that she did with that polar bear set. It is so cute. So I decided to wait and let her do her thing when she wants to come and share with you, which will be probably in one of the next coming weeks. So thank you so much for joining me. I really do enjoy my time with you on YouTube. I do have a lot of work to do to get all of the tutorials uploaded onto my blog. I'm not going to lie, I've been really, really lazy with getting that done with the catalog going live last Wednesday. I did not get a chance to get all of those little images picked out for each of the things. So that's kind of a project that I have going on this. By this end of this weekend, I want to be completely updated on my blog. So make sure you check out, and I will post on my Facebook page the link to the blog post so that if there's anything that you've seen over the last couple of weeks with stuff from the new catalog, you know where to get it and you have all the dimensions and things like that. So thanks again for joining me. I hope that you have a wonderful week. I will see you back here next week, Wednesday, with some more creativity. In the meantime, I hope that this has inspired you to try to get some of your stuff out and be creative yourself. Thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you again next week. Have a great week. Bye-bye.